Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Slice. Welcome back to a Slice of Anime, man. And you know we had to come right back the next day and go ahead and drop the chapter review / what you in fact missed in Boruto TBV Vortex Chapter 22. But before we dive into today's video, family, do your boy Slice a solid. Consider hitting that subscribe button for your boy, man. We are so close to that coveted goal of 100 subscribers, and it would mean so much, and it would be much appreciated if you just help support the channel by dropping a subscription, like the video, drop a comment, share the video, man. Any of those following actions would be much appreciated, man. But we're going to go ahead and dive straight into it, man. Let's get it. All right. So the first thing that I noticed that I, in fact, missed in Boruto TBV Vortex Chapter 22 was the fact that Konohamaru seems to have maybe slightly been broken out of omnipotence. There was a quick moment of hesitation where he was about to say something in regards to Boruto's personality change, or just a change that he saw in Boruto in general. I'm not too sure where it was going because obviously they did not elaborate on it, but it was something to peep. I think Konohamaru might be broken out of it to some degree, but at the same time, I really just think he was going to say that Boruto changed. But regardless, it's kind of a cliffhanger / up in the air. It could go either way because there was no further elaboration on that. It's something to take note of, man. Hopefully, some way, somehow, with Boruto doing all these things to save the village, and plus Sarada backing him up, maybe it'll possibly, ring a bell in someone's head other than Shikamaru, but we still have so much further to go. And, the more that I think about it, the more I really realize that there is so much that has still not yet been uncovered or unfolded within the Boruto TBV Vortex story. And we're just going to dive into all of that and further in future theory videos, man. So once again, sub up and hit that subscribe button, man. Now, another thing that I had to actually go back and read the chapter twice. Number one, the chapter was very fire. Number two, the spoilers were almost like 1000% the entirety of the chapter. So there honestly wasn't much, unfortunately, that took me by surprise and or I did not see coming or already read within the spoilers. So that's kind of that. But one thing that I did notice and I truly did like is, even though we are all aware, Boruto himself included, we're all aware that Boruto stands no chance within this fight. But something's off, because if he truly stood no chance within the fight, I don't think the fight would be somewhat of a tie. Now, we know Boruto, he tried to go on the offensive, and none of his moves really were that effective or effective at all. But if he had no chance, seemingly I feel like he would get decimated, and that does not seem to be the case. Boruto's actually putting up a very good fight. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Boruto actually caught Jorah off guard with almost all of his hits. Almost all of them. And, Jorah even had to stop and give regards to Boruto as far as his creativity using the flying Raijin technique. Now, you may in fact be wondering, how exactly does Jorah even know about the flying Raijin? Well, I'm just going to chuck it up in my own personal theory and just say that it's had to have been in the history textbook that he's been reading. Because you got to think, Jorah's been in the village for a while, and he was in the library just camping out and just reading books and just gaining knowledge, specifically on the village hidden in the leaves. So when you take all that into consideration, most likely Jorah read something along the lines of Minato and the flying Raijin technique. Otherwise, I don't know, bro. I don't know how else he would know about it. But let me know what you think about it in the comments. How do you think Jorah knew about the flying Raijin technique? Because I'm definitely curious to know what you guys think down below. But since we're on the topic of the flying Raijin technique, remember in the previous video I said there was some dialogue between Koji and Eida, that we needed to wait for the official translation to drop so we knew exactly what they were talking about. And they were talking about the flying Raijin once again. It's been a pretty big topic this chapter, so also keep that in mind. I feel like it's going to end up coming to screw him over later, but we'll see next chapter. But pretty much, Eida and Koji, what they were talking about, Eida basically said that Boruto has no choice and eventually he's just going to have to teleport out of there. But that's what he should do. Koji also agrees, but then he also states it's pretty much impossible. I mean, when you face against an enemy such as Jorah, who has such bloodlust and who truly has it out for Boruto, you're pretty much not even going to have that window of opportunity to do so. On top of the fact that because of how Boruto uses it with his symbols, they become harder and harder to track and keep track of the further he is away from those symbols. On top of the fact, once again, someone of Jura's caliber is going to keep Boruto so occupied, he won't even have time to, put that much focus and effort and dedication towards trying to find those pieces. He's marked with his own chakra. That's going to be a very hard task, even for the young lord himself. Koji also elaborates as well. If Boruto was to run right now, number one, he wouldn't do that. And number two, let's put in the speculation if Boruto was to run. Boruto would then be placing everyone else in danger and would also guarantee that Jura would in fact get Matsuri and Ryu's Thorn Soul Bulbs back, thus reviving them, thus pretty much just making everything useless. And unfortunately, this chapter, I just noticed as well, we did not get an update on Yoru, but it's still looking like she's in Otherworld with King Kai. But, maybe next chapter, I do hope that the next chapter really elaborates just a tad bit more on some other things. I don't want it to truly just be a battle between Boruto and Jura. I truly wanted to elaborate on the small details like, what's up with Sarada? What's up with Yoru? What was Konohamaru going to say to Boruto? But all of these, once again, are future topics that will be coming to the channel. So just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. I'm cooking. Back to the Koji and Eida topic, though. Koji states that Boruto thinks, and there's another key word, he thinks that the most successful plan and what he should in fact do at the moment is keep Jura occupied until Sarada and the others can flee from the village. And Eida says, wait a minute, but that means the panel switches over and you see Koji and Boruto equally looking serious. Koji states, Boruto's done for. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I always say in all of my videos, man, things just aren't said for no reason. Now, this could be a plot point to try to throw us off. Of course, they want us to think like, Boruto's done for. Boruto really might die in this fight because, the prophecy, the 10 paths have shown us over and over and over again that there is no timeline where Boruto survives. But if you really want to get technical, prescience, 10 paths, whatever you want to call it, man, it only works, but so good, because it has to go, the timeline has to go the exact same way as Kashi Koji foresaw it, because if it didn't, even the slightest shift in the timeline will create an alternative outcome. So when you take that into consideration, there's already been a lot of things that have happened so far in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex within these last couple fights, within the last couple chapters, that technically have not went the way that Kashi Koji foreseen them. Now, it really, Sarada getting her Mangekyo Sharingan, Kashi Koji already stated that there were multiple scenarios where she would have gotten it and there are scenarios where she would not have gotten it. But there's a little bit of a hint in there as far as to what I'm saying and where I'm going with this. Bro, there were multiple ways that Sarada was going to get her Mangekyo. And Koji also formulated and calculated that there were possibilities and there was a percentage of other timelines happening of Sarada not awakening her Mangekyo Sharingan at that moment. Now, I'm not too sure how many of you all have already heard this theory or even believe it as theory or truth, but there's some word floating around that the very first episode of Boruto that showed us the first time skip is an entirely different timeline from the one that we are currently in. Now, me personally, I can believe that. And no, not just because the clothes are designed differently. Once again, as previously stated, we have already seen multiple outcomes and actions within the current timeline that whether or not we notice it now, Koji notices it, or Boruto notices it, there are things already in play that have changed the future timeline. But let me save all that for some theory videos though, man. Let's dive back into the story. So during the fight, Jorah had actually took Sasuke's former katana, which is now Boruto's katana, that he also claims that he's just borrowing. So keep that in mind as well. I'm telling you, man, look, I've noticed a lot of things in this chapter, but I don't think anybody else is pointing out. They are salute, but this is what I noticed. So Jorah picks up Sasuke's katana and tells Boruto straight up, presents him with an ultimatum. Listen, if you just simply tell me who your accomplice is, I'll give you your blade back without any harm done to it. You'll get it back exactly how I just handed it. Although, that doesn't escape you from the fact that I'm still going to kill you. Right here, right now. Following that, we get probably one of the dopest shots in this chapter. We see Boruto breaking out that wood-style jutsu with the Rasengan, and it just looks so clean, man. I tell you, everything the young lord does has so much aura dripping off of it, bro. It is ridiculous. Directly after that, we see Boruto and Jorah. Remember that philosophical conversation about love? Boruto says, you might be right. Love may in fact be a weakness towards humans. But this is my opinion. That mindset, that point of view right there is precisely why you all will never be anything but trees. Now, once again, going back to my Hunter x Hunter analogy as far as the ants, I see a lot of similarities between this arc as far as the Shinju and the Chimera ants, man. Very similar. Not in a bad way, though. I like it. I like it because Jorah is like none of the rest. So we see Boruto hit him with that Rasengan Uzuhiko, but as we already know, man, it didn't do anything. And that did hurt. But, there was something that Jorah stated about Rasengan Uzuhiko when he negated it and why it was so easy for him to negate. He said that's actually very similar to the effect of his Biju bomb, which at that point, I'm not gonna lie to you, that's beyond my expertise, family. I'm gonna need y'all to help me out and let me know what he meant by that, because I don't even know, bro. But that's pretty much the end of the chapter, man. You know what I'm saying? That was a really good chapter, but truthfully, man, that's why I'm not like the biggest fan of spoilers when they come out so late and when they have so much detail to them, because there's not much this chapter that I did not expect or I did not see. I had to reread the chapter a multitude of times to really get those small little details to try to find something to pick apart and make some connections with. But within doing that, I got y'all some content and I got some future content coming as well. So you figured tell me ain't no problem with that. But anyway, though, man, it has been your boy Slice, and I'm signing out. Do your boy a solid if you have made it to the end of the video. Once again, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Like the video, share the video, and drop me a comment down below, man. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. Let me know what you're expecting to see within the next chapter. And let me know if there's any future topics, theories, or conversations you would like to see on the channel, man. Anyway, though, it's been your boy Slice, and I'm signing out. Peace.